The Grand Haven Area Public Schools has claimed that their playgrounds are dangerous, and some residents say the claim is an attempt to pressure parents and grandparents to vote for the new millage that has already been rejected by the people of Grand Haven. The tactic is not uncommon in Ottawa County, and we have some evidence of that. The current Grand Haven mayor speaks out against one of the current candidates and has a lot to say on the subject. The former mayor isn't the only one speaking out. The general manager of the Board of Light and Power, Dave Walters, has stepped down, citing a toxic work environment created by Hendrick, along with an attempt to show his commitment to the continuation of the Board of Light and Power. Finally, the hearing for Adeline Hambley is today, and the Board of Commissioner meetings seem to be on hold until the issue is resolved. Still a lot going on in our county, a lot that you need to know about from a non-biased source. I'm Thomas Frye, and this is the Holmes Politicast. All right. So, this is a strictly half-hour show. I am leaving directly at 4:30 for my grandma's birthday. So, we need to get this show on the road. So, Grand Haven Area Public Schools closing their playground. Ottawa Restore Ottawa has the story here. Approximately 3 weeks into the school year, playgrounds were roped off and deemed unsafe at several Grand Haven elementary schools because GHAPS has not been able to adequately care for playground equipment. So the school district is asking voters for nearly $500,000 to replace all of the elementary to replace every elementary school playground. So you can see here a picture of the roped off thing, a maybe 3-foot high slide that looks very dangerous. A roped off castle. I mean, it doesn't look unmaintained. So, the article asks the question, what's really going on here? Could the district really not afford to maintain playground equipment? Grand Haven area public schools requested a playground inspection. Why was this not addressed over the summer break? Did the school endanger our children by allowing them to play on dilapidated equipment for the first month of the school year? Or did the district need to place more pressure on parents and grandparents to get them to vote for the bond? Um, May 2023, the district or the community members voted down the $155 million bond proposal. So this article asks, is this emotional blackmail involving children as pawns in a game? Some other community residents, looks like on Facebook, an anonymous member of a Facebook group asks if anybody else finds it interesting that all of a sudden before the November election with the school bond proposal back on the ballot that the elementary schools are having to block off and shut down playground equipment deemed not safe. Interesting. Yeah, the community members are already on that. Somebody else said 25 years ago, Spring Lake did the same thing, put many kids in mobile trainers or the classrooms. They got the vote for the new high school. Let's see. Oh, somebody says one school at least had more pieces of equipment with caution tape roping off their playground equipment today. Why would you rope off two of them the other day and two more today? So it seems like the roping off is staggered too. So it's not like somebody said, oh, all these things are unsafe, and the school district is like, yep, we're roping them all off. They're roping them off in like segments. Another person says, this reminds me of the bridge they shut down in Spring Lake before they tried to get money for that. If I recall correctly, the bond never passed and the bridge eventually reopened. Well, that commenter is absolutely correct. I did a little bit of digging, and Wood TV 8 has the story here from the initial closing to the eventual reopening. So ABC says that Smith's Bridge, going over Smith's Bayou, was closed down. They had an inspection in 2016 revealed that the beams that hold up the bridge are not working properly, causing the pavement to crack. So in 2016, there was an inspection. This is 2019, and they just shut down the bridge 3 years later. Interesting. So 3 years after they had 16 to 17. Yeah, about 3 years after they had the inspection, they decided to shut the bridge down. Why not when they had the inspection? That's probably a good question to be asking. Almost seems like they did it for a political purpose. So you can read this in the comments. I have this article. Let's see. People are. Let's see. The fire chief is saying like, he can't get his stuff across the bridge. Like, yeah. So this article tells us of Smith's Bridge closing. And then another article, again from Wood TV 8. Smith's Bridge reopens after being closed for months. So this is in January of 2020. The other one was in, let's see, I think it was June of 2019. So almost 6 months later, the bridge is reopened. They had a second opinion on the bridge, and it was reopened. So it was reopened with some restrictions. It now has a 20-ton weight limit, so large trucks aren't able to go through. But other than that, it's being used as needed. The bridge, as far as I'm aware, is still open and has not undergone major reconstruction. So we come back to the playground equipment. Is this playground equipment unsafe? Is this playground equipment unsafe? Um, I don't think so. I mean, I looked at the two pictures here. I mean, this little slide and this, like, what could possibly be wrong with that? It's a bunch of logs. Like, are the logs rotting? Is it falling apart? It doesn't look to be in any disrepair. It doesn't look to have anything coming down. I can see this metal jungle gym in the background is closed down. This looks like Mary A. White Elementary, possibly. Um, Might be Griffin Elementary. So yeah, just interesting, the coincidence that is involved here, or maybe it's not interesting, the coincidence that's involved here. All right, so Grand Haven Area Public Schools seems to be using children as pawns to get political agendas pushed through. A bond that nobody wants is being promoted by the school district shutting down the playground. Interesting. All right, so beyond that, the mayor of Grand Haven released an email and is asking residents of Grand Haven to share this email. She says that um, she did not want to run a campaign, uh, like a negative campaign, but she says that she thinks that there are things that people of Grand Haven should know before they vote. And she's not on the primary. She's not on the ballot anymore, so it seems less self-serving to her. And she goes on to talk about the close affiliation between the current council members and Andrea Hendrick, arguably the leader, the little ringleader of this little group, is what she says. She says that electing Andrea Hendrick to the office of mayor will give the group a powerful and dangerous supermajority. She says that the checks and balances will be interrupted. And then she actually goes on to talk about Andrea Hendrick's financing. We talked about that last week, how most of her funding has come from outside of Grand Haven. She goes on to share about the, let's see. Yes, the permit and the fast track recreational marijuana sales. So she talks about that, about how Andrea Hendrick has a vested interest, and she talks about uh, the many cannabis um, companies that Andrea is involved in. So um, she says that there's probably a conflict of interest here, and I would agree with that assessment. There is definitely a conflict of interest if you're making money off of a bunch of pot places and you're trying to fast track um, pot permits through the city government and you're running for mayor. That's probably a conflict of interest. The third thing she brings up is that Karen Lowe continues to sit on our city council because Cummings and McLaughlin voted with her to bury the issue of her residency. Now, we talked about this probably a year ago in June 2022, that that Karen Lowe had been challenged for her right to sit on the city council. She has a park in Highland, or she has a cottage in Highland Park that she claimed as her legal residence, but pulling the water bill showed that there was very little usage of water at that residence. Um, so that was another thing that she's bringing up, is that McLaughlin, Cummins, and Lowe being behind Hendrick, even though Lowe does not have any real right to sit the on the board or on the commission. Sorry, I just got a text with an update on actually our last story. So, um, and then her final objection is that Hendrick, Cummins, McLaughlin, and Lowe have not honored their oaths to support the Grand Haven Charter. Most politicians take an oath to uphold the contracts that they are bound by, but these four have not followed the Grand Haven Charter. She says that the group opposed replacing the Sims plant on Harbor Island with a smaller gas-powered peaker plant. Um, so um, she says that that's that has not helped with power generation. Um, she brings up the hatchet job in the Grand Haven Board of Light and Power, which actually is a part of this story because Dave Walters has now stepped down as the general manager of the Board of Light and Power. But these three, or these four rather, are kind of at the forefront of going with the disillusionment of the Board of Light and Power, instead having the city council running the electric usage for Grand Haven. So a lot of people find that to be quite a bad idea. And even Mayor McNally says here, she says, I'm not saying that the Board of Light and Power has always been right or has been entirely blameless in the conduct of its affairs. Though I think, or she says, I'm not even saying that there aren't legitimate arguments that support dissolving the Board of Light and Power, though I think it would be a mistake to do so. I am saying, from what I've observed, that Hendrick, Cummins, McLaughlin, and Lowe have cooperated in a years-long public BLP bashing exercise that is mean-spirited and unfair, and not calculated to inspire cooperation, honestly inform the public, or advocate city interests. Now, I can attest that Andrea Hendrick is not interested in informing the public. I've talked with her personally. She has my number. She can reach out to me at any time. She has never really been interested in doing so. She says, "Oh, maybe I'll give you an interview after the primaries," but she has not reached out for that interview. She actually seems very argumentative when I talk with her, not at all interested in a real discussion or answering questions. So that's kind of Mayor McNally's perspective. You can call her. She gives her number here in the email, 616-402-0368. And so that is Mayor McNally's take on the subject. And then we have the Grand Haven Tribune actually reported this, and I think maybe reported it well, actually. So Dave Walters is the general manager of the Board of Light and Power. He's stepping down, and they quote him in a couple different areas. He says that he will continue to work amicably with the board. But he says that we all know certain individuals now seeking elected office have stated one of their primary goals during the campaign has been to change the BLP's management leadership, which means going from the BLP board to the city council. He also says, well, with the toxic work environment they have created for management at the BLP in this process, I can now say we share that same goal. He added, and as such, a retirement settlement at this time is the best means to achieve our shared objective. So what he's saying is he doesn't want to be in BLP management leadership because of the toxic work environment created by Andrea Hendrick. And you'll remember that Andrea Hendrick made a unfounded accusation against one of her fellow board members. I can't imagine that she is any more pleasant to work underneath as a man, as a white man, as Dave Walters seems to be. Andrea Hendrick is averse to white men in any form of leadership in Grand Haven. So, and she actually says as much. I think we've covered that. Her disdain of white men she makes very apparent. So, I'm not surprised that Dave Walters is saying that he's experienced a toxic work environment created by Hendrick. So that's unfortunate. We're losing. I mean, a lot of people, here in Ottawa County, talk about losing good people in the county government. Well, we're losing. Grand Haven is losing good people in the Board of Light and Power. They're losing good people in their county government. So, Mayor McNally, I think, has shown just tremendous character, not wanting to run a negative campaign. I totally understand that. I wouldn't want to be involved in politics because of that reason. I wouldn't want to have to bash people that I'm against or that I'm running against, because that just seems gross to me. It doesn't to all the people running. Obviously, Hendrick is not opposed to bashing others. And I guess if Grand Haven wants that kind of mayor, they're going to find out exactly what that entails very soon if they decide to elect her into office. So the Restoring Ottawa Substack also has a more extensive quoting of Dave Walters. It's not much more. I think actually I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say that I think the Grand Haven Tribune did a good job on that one. They covered all of what is happening. They quoted him well. They actually published some of the things that Andrea Hendrick is doing. They didn't publish anything about her her connection to. Well, actually, no, they have. They published her connection to marijuana, the industry, through Jerry McCaleb's column. Actually, I can bring that up because I think that's a pretty good one. And the Mayor McNally was also able to say the same thing, but Jerry McCaleb, the Grand Haven Tribune, published an opinion piece of hers that is, let's see, my computer's going to run a little slow now. So, opinion piece from Jerry McCaleb, talking about, Andrea Hendrick and a lot of what's been going on there. So it's good that the Grand Haven Tribune is really trying to be more transparent and more open about things like that. So one final thing here. Oh, this is going to be even shorter than 30 minutes. Look at this. You guys get 8 a.m. What the heck? So you guys get fresh, immediate breaking news. That's what we call it. I never do breaking news. So this is quite the thing. You are witnessing history. I am one of the first to publish this news. So without further ado, Jacob Bonema, he says that a judge has ruled. Man, can I show this? I'll try. See what I can. Yeah, I don't want to. Let me see. I'm just going to pull up the picture. So Jacob Bonema says that the judge in the in Muskegon County has allowed the hearing of Director Hambley to take place tomorrow. If I can pull that up, my goodness. Hopefully I can. Is that it? Is this it? Darn it. That's not it. Aha, here it is. Okay. So there it is in all its glory. Judge ruled to allow the hearing of Director Hambley to take place. That starts at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, Director Adeline Hambley will be going through a hearing by the Board of Commissioners. I think we know how that's going to turn out. So we'll keep you up to date on all of that, what's happening there. This was supposed to be an afternoon session. I'm not sure why they're starting at 8 in the morning, but breaking news there. So I'm going to be, of course, following that very closely to see how it all turns out. So I want to just thank you for joining me for this kind of short show. It's always a pleasure to be able to bring you the news in the best way I can, in an unbiased way. If you want to help spread unbiased news, not everybody has the ability to watch every single Board of Commissioners meeting. Not everybody has the ability to catch every single one of Miss Kelly's, Kristen Megan Kelly's live streams, watching for hours and hours. And she might be a little biased too, as she's part of the Michigan GOP. So if you want to help get information out that is not right wing, it's not left wing, it is just what's going on, then please consider sharing my show on Facebook with a friend, with some neighbors. Try and get the word out that there is a way that you can follow politics using 40 minutes or less and be staying informed, up to date, knowing everything that's going on in our county, and be able to have a voice. I don't know if you've noticed that not always do the newspapers do a great job at asking the questions that we want asked. So if you want to have a voice, if you want to ask questions and get them answered by our politicians, follow me. I will do my best to get you the answers. I'm Thomas Frye. This is the Holmes Politicast.